Hey y'all, Pink Lady here. Welcome back to another episode of Bet on Yourself, Sis. I'm your host, Jasmine Gary, aka Pink Lady. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm, as always, super excited for this episode. So, this episode is with another one of my sister cousins, Ashana Jouti. In the episode, you'll hear me call her by her by the name her mama gave her. But her name for you, and she'll say it in the episode too, is Ashana Jouti. So she is an artist, a creator, and a visionary. And in this episode, we talk about her journey to special effects makeup and then on to beauty makeup. She still does special effects makeup. We'll talk about that more. We talk about self care and character building through makeup. We talk about the transformative power of makeup. Lots about makeup, I know, but it'll be worth it. We also talk about building confidence and discipline, embracing self acceptance, discipline versus motivation, finding your why, and faith in entrepreneurship. The convo kept coming back to progress, acknowledging your progress, right? Remembering to reflect. And we did a lot of reflecting in this episode. So take this as your sign to reflect on your journey and to really acknowledge your progress. And take this as a reminder to accept your whole self, all of you, but keep striving for better. Yeah. Bet on yourself, sis. Bet on yourself, sis. You've got the goal, confidence and style. Let your power show. You such a Shana Nana, Shana Poo. Hello, Ashana Sims. I'm so happy to be talking with you today. Welcome to my podcast, Bet on Yourself, Sis. How are you?
Thank you. I'm okay. I'm nervous, but I'm okay. I'm great, actually.
Nerves are good. That just means you care about what we're doing. No need
Absolutely.
to be nervous though. We good. We sitting here and we chatting. So
Absolutely.
those of you who don't know, Shauna Nana is my other sister cousin. You heard from her sister, her blood sister. They got the same mama and daddy. Back on episode, I'm not sure what number, but I will definitely put it in the show notes. Her sister is Amber Sims. So that episode, we talked all about her being an author and a creative entrepreneur and all that stuff she does. So after you listen to this episode, make sure you go check out that episode if you haven't already listened. Again, I will plug it in the show notes. But Shauna Nana, we're here to talk about all the amazing things you do today. Yay. And I'm really excited. So please tell the people who you are and what you do.
Good morning. Good morning, Jazzy.
Good morning.
First of all, thank you for this opportunity. Like, this is surreal. This is a blessing. This is definitely a step forward to everything that I know I am called to do and what I have been doing. So I'm appreciative. Hello, everybody. My name is Ashana Jouti. I am an artist. I am a creator. I found myself being more of a visionary the more that I'm growing and learning and getting older. Um, some people know me as Ashana, the makeup artist. I am a special effects makeup artist. That is my specialty. Is anytime April and October is my time to shine. That's when I shine my best. But that's who I am. I am a creator of all things art. Um, Finding myself doing more paintings more now.
Yeah.
So that's who I am.
Yes,
I'm an
I just love
artist.
that. Yes, and you are an all-around artist, but we'll definitely talk about like the different things that you do, right? So first, for those who don't know what special effects makeup is, please explain a little bit more about that and explain why they're so popular, during those times that you said.
Okay, so I'm a special effects makeup artist. There is coming out of that is a genre of a lot of different things. So for me, October, when I say October is my specialty month, it's because that's where I, tackle all of my horror film, blood and gore makeup that I actually found a love in back in 2003, 2002, when I started looking for colleges. And for anybody that don't know, I don't even know if you know how I went to the Art Institute of Philadelphia, as you know, looking for schools. I used to do, in high school, I did a lot of hands-on model making. I had an art teacher that was heavy on clay and pottery. So I got into doing that, but um, I, I I can't say I got discouraged because in pottery you gotta wait
Mm-hmm.
a lot of time, but I still was very hands on. And I remember looking for schools. I applied at the Art Institute of Philadelphia, and I remember getting on the elevator with my mother. Looking, we was touring the school. They got off. Somebody else was getting off of the floor where at the time they were doing the Alien versus Predator movie.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, my school actually had hands-on part in that movie.
Nice.
And when the elevator opened up and I seen look like piece of it, I was just like, wait, what is that? What are they doing? It piqued my interest, and it actually, forced me into wanting to do more hands-on makeup. From that it led me to doing, beauty makeup that actually took me to Robert Fiant's Makeup Academy, where again I thought that it was just the beauty makeup that I wanted to do, but then I seen, how special effects makeup is not just, the cutting and the blood, but how you can turn somebody from old to young, from young
Mm-hmm.
to old. Prosthetics is something that I love. Literally love prosthetics because you can turn yourself into somebody else,
Mm-hmm.
literally without AI.
Yeah.
It's all hands on. Um, so that's what a little bit of want to say what special effects is. I actually study industrial design. So when I say I'm a creator, it's because um, I can design a car, toy design. Um, I do tattoo design, stuff like that. So I'm a creator of all things that pretty much has something to do with art. I want to create. I see things. When I say I'm a visionary, I see things in my head, and then I want to, do it. I want to tell your listeners, yeah, let me tell y'all something. I am Jasmine's makeup artist. Also, I just thought
Yes.
about that. I when we were thinking, I'm like, oh, what am I going to talk about? But I need y'all listeners to know that I am your makeup artist, and even though I didn't get a chance to do my brows, you let them know that I am your brow makeup artist, and she
And
can't
I
go to
will
anybody
share
else.
all the pictures of
Yes,
all the amazing makeups that you have done. Absolutely. Yes, you are my makeup artist. But like I love a lot of what you said. I remember in high school that flamingo that you made. This girl made y'all a life-size flamingo and it looked real. Like it was a realistic
yeah, it was
flamingo. It was
paper
paper mache, right?
mache.
Oh, that shit was amazing. Like I
Yeah,
remember that. And I love how you say like you're a visionary. You see things and you use a lot of different canvases. We'll say that, right? Like
yes.
it depends on what it is, but I definitely want to talk more about like the face because yes, you are creative. Yes, you do all these other things, but I think maybe your focus is the face. Maybe right now, maybe that won't always be right, but and because you said like you are my makeup artist and you do an amazing job. So
Thank you.
just talk about like the journey to like what led you to makeup. Like you started off with the graphic design. I mean, not graphic design. Excuse me. With more what did you call it?
It's industrial design, but
Industrial
out of
design.
that, it takes each part.
But
But I took the
specifically, the what were we just talking about? Like that type of makeup, like special effects. We were talking about special
special.
effects. So like you saw the special effects makeup. You started doing a lot of that, right? And then something else happened, and maybe like you started to pivot toward the like beauty makeup. But like, what did those moments look like, and what like kind of drew you to those things?
So to be very honest and transparent, I didn't finish school. You know that I didn't finish school, but I've always been a person, even when I was growing up, very particular about my skin. Okay, very very particular because I was never quote unquote the prettier girl that I thought. But from leaving school back in 2004, 2005, and coming home and having to, revamp and rethink college and what I want to do, being in relationships, having a child, and stuff like that. um, David's wife encouraged me before they, were married. It was a family member of hers. I don't remember what year it was, but it was around October, and she asked me to do makeup for her one time for a breast cancer awareness month and whatnot. And I think that was around the time that I was just playing in makeup.
Mm.
I was buying, makeup from the dollar store. And I tell anybody, I started off doing this from literally dollar store makeup. And I remember so real that Crystal told me, she wanted me to do her makeup for this event that she did. And from there, she had a family member and her cousin that was going to prom,
Mm-hmm.
and she put me on. And of course, I look back now, like my y'all. I always say y'all wasn't my friend. Y'all was just letting me do makeup. Y'all was just letting me play in your face. But it actually took me from doing that, took me to going back to Robert Fiance Makeup Academy to be certified to do beauty makeup, because I was so particular about my skin. I always say, and I tell people now, um, quality over quantity
Mm-hmm.
has always been my thing. The quality of the work that you put out doesn't have to be paid for, doesn't have to be done in the most expensive of makeups. Because if you know what you're doing, if you know how to do it, you could do it with the dollar store makeup, the Walgreens makeup, the regular NYX, and all the other stuff. Um, of course, the quality is better if you have the higher paying makeup and whatnot. But this young lady made me really, she encouraged me that that day that I did her makeup to start to see the beauty in myself, because of all of the stuff that I dealt with not finishing college,
Mm-hmm.
getting pregnant, having a child, being back home, and stuff like that. It encouraged me to start to look back into myself. And then I was able to tackle my sister, tackle my cousins, sitting y'all down,
Yep.
literally sitting y'all down and making y'all
Yep.
do, like, be my models. It forced me to come out of my comfort zone. And of course, in the beginning, I wasn't like, yeah, I'm like, I thought I was cute. I thought, but I was still not as confident as I am now, of course, and and what I was doing. So it very much so, it brought me to go back to school to learn what I'm doing. Um, you know, have a clientele. My when I first started doing makeup, and I was trying to find names and stuff like that, I thought to myself, I wanted to edify others the way people encourage and edify me. And that's why in the beginning, my business was Edifications by Ashana. Of course, it dwindled down because a lot of people didn't understand it. And I am a Christian, but a lot of people were just like, well, what the heck is edifying or edification,
Yeah.
And I needed to, broaden. I go off of everything now. It's makeup by Ashana Jouti. That's who I am. I am Ashana Jouti,
Mm-hmm.
which is easier. Makeup by AJ, I guess, whatever, without having to explain myself, but still purely in my heart. Whatever I do when it comes to makeup, I want to edify God, of course, and then be able to edify the person that I'm doing makeup with, because I believe that um, energy is transitioned through our hands sometimes. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So I have clients that I do makeup for, and we don't talk at all through the whole time. We don't talk. And there's some people I talk, because I realized that I don't have to say anything, because my work is going to flow through my spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And what that's another story, because that's so important in the work that I do, is that I don't have a spirit of any negativity on me, because that transfers to the people that I work with.
Absolutely,
You
absolutely.
know what I
Wait,
mean?
so yeah, because we're definitely gonna talk about that, because you've always been to me, a very like spiritual, cerebral person, right? So we're definitely gonna get to that. But first, I like a lot of what you said, because something I always tell my clients is to like start with what you have, start where you are, and then like build as you go, right? How many people I talk to have spent all this money on these like podcast systems and these mics and all this crap and are not podcasting at all, right? So I would definitely suggest to my clients, like, you have headphones that have a microphone on them, right? You have a device to record on. Start your podcast first and then build the things that you have. So I like what you were saying about the makeup, right? Like, you could start with dollar store makeup, right? You can start with the Walgreens and absolutely like learn what you're doing first, build that up, right? And then, like, maybe you'll be able to afford those more expensive things once you get there, but like start where you are. So I really like what you said about that. I also I like what you were saying about like the name and like how you chose the name and how you kind of like build through the name, or like that's really a part of like how you work. And I love, I agree, energy transference, right? Like I think of sometimes when I'm getting my makeup done, especially by you, it's like, well, I haven't gotten my makeup done by anybody else, so I'm talking about especially by you getting my makeup done.
Hello.
It can be very like, oh, it's self-care, right? Like it
Yeah.
can be very relaxing, it can be calming, it can be so like I'll be halfway falling asleep, right? Like until she tell me to open my eyes, or look a certain way, because you got to get into the nooks and crannies or whatever. But like it can be so relaxing and just so like it feels like self-care, right? So I want you to talk about like that aspect of makeup and of like building a character, because I like what you were saying too about like the special effects makeup, the different things you can do with it. Like what it really is about is like building that character, right? With the beauty makeup, it's not, I guess, so much about a character. Is really about like kind of bringing out your beauty, I guess, right? But like, I don't
But
know. You
but
talk
it
about that
is.
because you are the professional. So yeah.
So it is. So even when you say characters, that thank you. It brings me back to number one. I also I'm a theater head also.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I've studied theater also. I went to the school over here in Clifton for a couple of years studying theater. So I've always to myself been a behind the scenes type of girl. Okay. Anything I do, and I tell my clients all the time, I'm not putting you out there. You're not going down that runway looking like just any old thing. Because at the end of the day, that's my name
Mm-hmm.
on your face and as you walk, walk on. And it's funny because people always say hairstylists, nail techs, makeup artists, they don't ever look like themselves like a makeup artist
Right.
or a hairstylist because we're so focused on, what what our clients look like. But when you talk about building up the characters, um what I believe has helped me in special effects is because I'm I'm a behind the scenes actress myself,
Mm-hmm.
because I studied some theater stuff. So it all kind of, what's the word, coincides. It all comes together at the
Mm-hmm.
same time. Um, and I say that to say for beauty makeup also, we feel one way when they sit down in my chair. Okay,
Yep.
halfway through, it's somebody else.
Yep.
When you finish, you a whole nother
It's a
person. You know what I'm
fact.
saying? Right, you're a bad bitch. You're a bad, you know what I'm saying? You are on top of the world. And that's why it is self-care. You know what I'm saying? It's self-care for me and it's self-care for the client because if it's, let's say, for prom, you have a tomboy, somebody that's never wore makeup really, you know what I'm saying? Not necessarily a tomboy, but they never wore makeup. When I meet people and they say, well, I don't want to look like a clown or I don't want to look like this because I don't wear makeup. But when they get up from that chair, your everything changed. Your mind has changed. I have clients that literally they start crying afterwards. You know what I'm saying? Um, and then I have my special effects clients that I have to. We got to talk about this character. We got to talk about. I had somebody for Christmas, a young man that he asks me every year. He does the Grinch
Mm-hmm.
for the job for at the job he works with kids. And I remember last year we did full on. Every year I do the Grinch with him, it gets better and better.
Nice. Yeah.
But this year, was full on with the hairs on the faces, and it went from just body paint to little, prosthetics I was doing on him. And his character, you can just see the character coming to life
Mm-hmm.
with the transformation of just the face itself.
Yeah.
We hadn't even touched his hands, we hadn't even put on the costume. And that's why I love special effects makeup, because you literally transform into something else.
Mm-hmm.
I studied in between doing beauty makeup and special effects makeup. I study. It's a young man. I don't remember his name, but he is a drag artist, drag queen. And when I tell you, he that's why I learned how to do eyebrows.
Mm-hmm.
Not even gonna lie, I learned how to do eyebrows from this artist, because this man was phenomenal in the transforming of everything. You
Yeah.
literally, and the skills and his artistry of it all. It's just like I'm getting lit now just thinking of it, because the just transforming, because men and women have our structures, our facial structures are different. So to turn, a man's brows into complete clean cut and stuff like that, that's what, it drew me to want to do more, not just beauty makeup.
Yeah.
But how can I, all of these movies that we watch, how can I turn myself into a Medea? How can I
Mm-hmm.
turn myself into a Big Mama? You know what I'm saying? It really it makes the character, the costumes and of it all come to life
Yeah.
with good makeup.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what
Absolutely.
I mean? With really good makeup. I remember when I studied some theater at the school in Clifton. I remember we had to do a where you take a character from a excuse me, Broadway show, and
Mm-hmm.
I remember doing Cats,
Okay.
and they teach you how to, just the demeanor of a cat, and how,
Mm-hmm.
how they move, and how how everything is soft. And then I thought about doing that, and how can I do that with my makeup? You
Mm.
know what I mean? How
Yeah.
did I bring that and bringing it all together? Just made sense.
Yep.
And it really makeup really makes sense when
Mm.
you think about it, because you can literally do anything with it.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Any at big or small levels, you really can do anything with it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I feel like there may be some people out there who still don't understand what special effects makeup is. And if you are one of those people, that's totally okay. But the show Face Off comes to mind. I remember I used to watch this show faithfully. It was one of my favorite shows. It came on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Mhm.
I know it's
Mhm.
probably like on Netflix or something, on Hulu or something right now. I'll find it and put
Mhm.
it in the show notes. But I think that's a great example, especially when you say transformation. So it's a competition show, right? So they get, a deed or whatever, or something that they have to do, and then they get judged on it in the end. But the transformations that you see are always amazing. They're literally turning
Mhm.
people into these characters, like we're saying, right? So I think that's a good example.
And it takes a different type of person to think of all of this, because
Oh yeah.
those people, you would think that because that Face Off is a great example,
Mm-hmm.
because they give you a concept,
Mm-hmm.
okay, um and then to have, let's say, 8 or 10 people that are given the same concept, but you get to see what
It runs the gamut,
two
all the
different
different things
artists,
that they create.
right,
Yes.
that come out of it. And the coolness of being a makeup artist is because they say sci-fi, they say aliens, they say silver,
Mm-hmm.
and they say nails,
Mm-hmm.
okay. But in our minds, we're thinking the story behind this
Absolutely.
alien, and how he created these nails
Absolutely.
that got the scars on his face. And then we get to put a costume on with it. It takes a different, that's why I know I'm a visionary. I know
Yeah.
I'm a creator, because it takes a lot for some other people, what I'm saying, to see way past just, they said, give me an alien.
Yep.
And you say alien, most of us just think big head, big eyes, and zoom, zoom, zoom. That's it.
And that's how you
But
see
when
who goes far, right, in the competition, because the people who take just the
absolutely
logical of like, okay, check, 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 you're just checking off the boxes of what they asked for. It's like, you're not going to make it very far because these other people, and you know, it's nothing against them because maybe that's just not your thing. Maybe you're just not there yet, right? Like, so it's not against you. It's just that these other people are they have these crazy minds that take
right,
them these crazy places, and it's like, and crazy in a good way. I hope y'all are hearing
right,
that I'm saying crazy in a good
right,
way for sure, right?
absolutely,
Because the stories that we get is like, who the hell, why would you ever think of that? I don't know, but
right.
I love it and I'm glad that you did, right? Like,
Right, right.
yeah,
And we give you a whole storyline
yes,
behind it. And it makes sense. It makes sense in our
yeah,
head. I don't know. I mean, for them it makes, and it's funny because to be, even if I ever got on a panel of that, I know that they all have the same mind because they all like, yo, that made sense to me.
yes.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
Like,
just the
yeah,
creative
that
type
worked
of
though.
people, right? Everybody's not a
Right.
creative, and that's totally fine. Some of us are a little more logical. I like to say I'm like on the fence. Like I'm like a creative, logical person, right? Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
kind of in the middle. I like to say artistic adjacent because I don't think I'm really
Absolutely.
artistic, but I can be very creative. But
Absolutely.
yeah, so yeah, I love what you said, and I think what keeps coming up is like progress, like noticing the progress, acknowledging it, appreciating progress, right? And I know that's something that I really love. I love to see progress, right? I love to see that, like, even though like it doesn't feel like things are getting better, I can see like things are actually getting better,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like I
Mm-hmm.
love to
Mm-hmm.
see those things. Hey y'all, Pink Lady here. I'm a podcast producer, director, coach, and host. And I want to tell you all about my production company, Pink Lady Productions. We collaborate with creatives like you who are driven to share your message by launching your podcast from A to Z and coaching you through the process. To learn more about our services, check out our website at pinkladyprod.com. That's PINKLADYPROD.com.
I talk to myself a lot when I do makeup, and I always say,
Mm.
trust the process, trust the process,
Mm.
trust the process, especially when I'm doing makeup on myself, because because I see things so far ahead in everything that I do, even outside of makeup.
Yeah.
But because I see things in my head so far, sometimes I don't see the in between.
Mm.
So I promise you, I'm always in my head saying, trust the process. Just trust the process. Trust the process
Yeah.
because it's the model that sits down in my chair is not going to be the character that gets up when they're
Absolutely.
finished, you know. So
Absolutely.
it's a process. All of that in between is what makes it fun. That's why I can say I'm happy being behind the scenes artist sometimes
Yeah.
because when they're those fashion week, those models that go out, you know, nobody else in the audience sees all the chaos,
Oh.
all the hell, all of the
Absolutely.
pulling, all of the
Uh,
lashes that done fell off, how
yeah.
many times we had to relift them. But when you get them and their model walks out there, you're like, God,
Mm-hmm.
dog, who did that makeup?
Nothing
Or
even
who took that?
matters.
Who? Nothing matters.
Yeah.
Nothing at all matters.
Yeah.
That's the God's honest truth.
Yeah. I love that. You talked also about like gaining confidence throughout that process too. So, I want you to talk about like how you gain confidence and what that looked like, especially now. I know you're on the fitness journey. You've been dropping these pounds. You've been getting that body right. You've been working out a lot. So, like, talk about building confidence and what that looked like, but also like in through the lens of building your business and the makeup piece and all of
Discipline.
that. Okay.
Discipline and goals. Um, I told myself years ago that by my 40th
Okay.
birthday that I wanted to see myself in a different way than anybody else has ever
Yes.
seen
Is
me.
that this year or next
Uh,
year?
that's this year.
This
That's three
year.
months from
Okay, that's
now. Okay.
2025. Okay.
Yeah, word. And I say I know it was a process with everything from out of high school to now. I know it was a process, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to really look at why I always said by my 40th. I
Mm.
don't know, but I've always just said by my 40th, I was going to do this, I
Mhm.
was going to do that. I wanted to live like this and I wanted to live like that. But it wasn't until um uh, certain things in my life that forced me to learn. When I say discipline, to learn what discipline is.
Mm.
Um, in the art world, discipline is knowing how to set up your station for your client.
Okay.
Discipline is um, cleaning your brushes and your station in between doing your makeup.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I had to learn that. I had to learn that the hard way. I've had clients that never came back.
Mm.
I have clients that have come back. And I had to learn that and not take it personal after a while, because I took a lot of things personal, in my beginning stages of doing makeup and stuff like that. Because I always thought, well, shit, I know what I'm doing. I got this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I could do it on myself, I could do it on, anybody. And that's not always the case.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says. That's not always the case. Just because you could do your makeup does not mean you could do somebody else's makeup. And just because you could do somebody else's makeup does not mean you could do yours. But
Okay.
when you get somebody that can do both,
Toot
you're
toot.
on. Right, toot a little bit, toot a little bit. Um, but it definitely comes with discipline, and knowing, like I said, goals, knowing what you want. All right,
Mhm.
I just want to see myself differently. You know what I'm saying? From the girl I was in high school, the girl I was in college, and the woman I am now. You know what I'm saying? It's all you're in a process of learning, growing, getting older. I'm not even the person that I was 10 years ago, 20 years ago. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And that's okay, because nobody has given you, when you're born, they don't give you a book on how to, prepare yourself for who you're
For
supposed to be when you
nothing.
turn 10. Who are you supposed to be with? I don't even know who I'm supposed to be when I turn 50, God willing. You know what I'm saying? So everything you do in life is a process,
Mhm.
is a step into, just getting it done. I had to learn, even now, I've always been doing, fitness stuff. I just never was confident
Mm.
in my own skin. Okay. Um, I I dealt with somebody one day, in friendship, and this person said to me, just let me look at you.
Mm.
Let me look at you. He looked at me. He said, now you look at you.
Mm.
Tell me, what do you see? Okay. um every role, every, what I'm saying, misplaced this, and a little bit of chubby here. I had to learn to love that part of
Mm.
me, honest to God.
Yeah.
It wasn't until the day, because we're used to seeing ourselves, we're used to seeing the work that we do.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Um, but until you see it through the eyes of somebody else,
Mm.
it makes a difference.
Absolutely.
Some people believe that, in life, oh, I don't care what people think about me. I don't care what people say about me. In all actuality, we all do.
Mhm.
In some aspects of life, we all do. However, the thing that makes you win in life is not necessarily caring about what people think about you, but caring about what you think about you, what God says about you, and then knowing, you know what I'm saying, that part of you, and accepting it. Okay.
Yeah.
So I had to accept the body that I was in at the time, but then remember, but Ashana, you gave yourself a goal. You said something that you wanted. Okay. I said I wanted to be fit and healthy. Okay. I started doing that. You know what I'm saying? I started getting up. Not that I was sick, not that I was overly overweight, because I tell anybody now, I still was getting at the,
Okay.
at the size I was,
Okay.
okay, and still will. But I decided mentally, physically, emotionally, a lot that um traumas in my life, I was sitting on it and it was sitting on my body. It was weighing on my body. And I didn't know that until I started exercising and training differently and really just saying, okay, I'm going to do that. And it goes along with my creativity and my artwork. You know what I'm saying? There's been times where I've done I've done makeup for people and literally had to step back and be like, okay. And these are clients that are, yeah, and these are regular, normal, like clients that I've been doing makeup on. And I'm like, thank you, God, that they keep coming back because sometimes I don't see, I be like, oh, I didn't see, the way they see it. But then when I'm getting professional pictures back and I'm like,
Girl, yeah.
I did do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, thank you God, that because that was not me. Um, but I had to discipline myself with that. Okay. I always tell people motivation. Everybody says, well, I'm not motivated. I'm not, motivation is great. It gets you. I was motivated to get up this morning. Okay. What's going to push you to get up tomorrow morning? What's going to push you once you got up? What is going to have you disciplined enough to say, now I have to get up and go do something? What is your why?
Yep.
You know, what is making you want to, do this? What is making you want to keep on creating masterpieces? You know what I mean? The greatest of, artists that are out there, they have something. Some people, it's funny because my children think that they gotta be, you gotta have struggles to be cool, or you gotta have something. Not everybody in the world had to go through something to become
That's a
famous.
fact.
You know what I'm saying? You don't always have to go, but everybody, your greatest sports people, singers and stuff like that, they have a why. They have something that they have said, this is what I want. And my why was I wanted to no longer worry about what this person thought about me, how they felt about me. When I was my biggest, they still talked about me and what I had on. When I was my smallest, they still talked about me and what I had on. So I said at 40, if you're going to talk about me, I'm going to now give you a reason to talk. And I'm going to do that in the best of what I feel like. I'm gonna wear it. I'm gonna wear it. I'm gonna look like it, and I'm gonna keep it going. And it's funny because even in makeup, there's a lady at my job. I don't even know what department she works in, but God bless her. Who her brows, her eye makeup, but this is who she is.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I believe that that's who she is, and I love her for that. I see her in the hallway sometimes, and I'm like, there go the lady with the cookie brows and the bright blue, eyeshadow, but she's confident in that. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I had to be broken down to the point of now it's just me, just me. I can't blame nobody else for nothing else. Me not finishing school, I can't blame nobody else for that. You know what I'm saying? All I could do is at this point in my lowest of lowest, I had to say, now what do I want to do? There's nowhere else to go. I'm already low.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm at. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. I love a lot of what you said. First, I want to talk about you're like, I have to accept who I am. I gotta accept this body. I gotta accept all of this stuff about me, right? That's the way to gain confidence. That's the way to, right, like really change my life first. But then also, I'm gonna accept it all, but I'm not going to, I'm not gonna be content with it, right? I still want to change it. I'm still gonna create these goals for my life, and I'm still gonna change my life because that's what I want to do. I love that because I know a huge part of my goal for this podcast is for Black women entrepreneurs, especially, but Black women in general and Black people in general to feel like you're not stuck. You don't have to stay stuck. You don't have to stay where you are. You can change your life. You can change everything. You just have to do it one step at a time. And I know I've said this on the podcast, probably every episode, but I'm going to keep saying it because that really is my message, I think. And the women I bring on are testaments of it. You just said it, right? Like, you are at the lowest of your low and you're like, all right, can't get no lower. Got to go up from here, right? So what do I do about it? The first step, accepting everything. The second step, making goals. Third step, going after those goals, right? So not easy at all. I'm sure none of those things were easy, but it can be simpler than we make it, I think. So
it can be simpler, and we have to be honest with ourselves about that. You know, we have to be honest with ourselves. Nothing worth having or nothing worth really fighting toward is going to be easy. And we have to accept that. I literally, the last video that I just posted, I literally looked at myself and was like, ugh, I'm still a pretty girl, but I could have, like, oh, girl, girl, seriously. But when people ask me, well, how long you been on this fitness journey, or how long you been doing makeup and this and that, honestly, even when it comes to makeup, how long you been doing makeup? I don't know why I stick with the 15-year mark, because it's been more than 15 years now. However, for me, I don't want to just take away from, I'm trying to find the right word, take away from, the time that I've been, in the skill of it. But sometimes I just be like, okay, I've been doing makeup for like, 5 or 10 years, because for me, I'm like, those are the 10 good years that I
okay.
that I want to accept. You know what I mean? And but in reality, I've been doing it. You know what I'm saying? I'm an artist. You know what I'm saying? I come from artistry, artist. You know what I'm saying? My mother was an art teacher. You know what I'm saying? So I come from it. But
Those
when it
beginning
comes to,
years matter,
right,
absolutely.
that's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
and that's what I had to look at my videos to really say, oh my God, like, that's where my beginnings, started, you know what I mean? And I can see, and I always encourage people when the young ladies come and they meet me at the gym and stuff like that, I always encourage to take your pictures.
Yes.
Take your pictures, because you can see, I can tell from, when I had my son and I was at my highest. I was 205, okay? And for some people that's not, the biggest, but I'm also 5'5", 5'6". That's a lot for my height and at the time for my age. You know what I'm saying? That was a lot. But then I seen down the line where I literally got back down to 145, 150. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, but it wasn't my healthiest either. Okay. I
Okay.
honestly,
Good
I
point.
believe that I believe that right now, I honest to God believe that this is my healthiest. Okay.
Yeah.
And I could be better, you know what I'm saying? But I watch myself go from, like I said, from my biggest to back down to my smallest. And then I'm like, yeah, that's not where I want to be. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I had to learn all of that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Especially with makeup. I
Yeah.
had to learn all of that. You know what I mean? And it's so very. I had to be honest. I
Yes.
had to be honest with myself. It's okay that people want to. I lost all that weight. That was stress weight. So I lost all of the trauma, the drama, and the hurt and all of that stuff. I lost all of that. But where I am now, I gained all of my strength because of all of that.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? What
I
forced
love
me to
that.
get back, get myself back in the gym. And I encourage people all the time. That's why I say, what is your why? Why are you doing this?
Yeah, your why is so important because that brings me to the next thing I wanted to talk about, kind of like your why, and you were talking about discipline, kind of versus motivation, right? I heard a quote, and I can't remember exactly how it goes, but I know it's something like, um, "Discipline is what's left over when you have no more motivation." Because like the discipline is the rigorous. Even if you're not motivated to get up, you're still going to get up when you're disciplined to do it, right? So that makes so much sense. And your why, having that strong why and remembering that why is how you stay disciplined, right? So I don't know if you wanted to talk more about that.
So my body now, even on my days off, on the weekends, my body now still just gets up at 3:30.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because now I've transformed. As you know, backtracking, I did 10 years overnight working in the ER.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that was reasoning for me gaining weight and losing weight, gaining weight, losing weight. Literally, you know what I'm saying? My body was up and down because my sleep pattern wasn't that good. You know, getting off work at 7 o'clock and still having to be a mother, you know what I'm saying? Trying to, help out around the house. My body was just, up and down.
Yeah.
So I had to motivate myself to say, okay, motivation says, I see you doing this. It looks great on you. I want to get up and do it too.
Mm.
Okay.
Mm. Okay.
So yeah. Okay. Anybody can be a great motivator. All it is saying it.
Mm.
Okay. So Jazz, you say, let's say our arms,
Mm-hmm.
just for example. Okay. I don't like the way my arms swing.
Okay.
Shauna, what motivates you to get up and do arms every day? The fact that I don't like to see my arms swing.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? That is enough to motivate you. And I don't have influencers on my social media
Yeah.
that are all buff, all no, I need to see these niggas, these women that started off my same size. I need to see
Yeah.
where you started.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So many people always just want to show you where they are now. No, what motivated me is because I actually got up and looked at myself in the mirror again.
Mm.
I forgot what my friend said to me years ago.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But then I got up and I said, that ugly body that I feel is ugly is what's motivating me. But when it turns from motivation to discipline is when my bed is nice and warm
Mm-hmm.
at 3 o'clock in the morning and it's 50 degrees outside, 40 degrees outside, and there's snow on the ground.
Girl.
And
Because we
I'm
live in
not,
Jersey for those of you who don't know.
right? We live in Jersey. I don't drive. My gym is not around the corner, but those arms are still flabby.
Right.
And if nothing else, I keep hearing in myself, if nothing else, Ashana, set one goal and let's just see if we can do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's got me disciplined.
Right.
Is because I said, yeah, my bed is nice and warm. It's going to take me about 15, 20 minutes to walk to the gym. It's snow on the ground, so it could be another 30 minutes. But once I get into the gym is my
Mm-hmm.
sanctuary
Happy
now.
place.
I have all this, right, in my happy place. I have all this time in the world to do. And then I can learn, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Exactly how to make those
Yeah.
arms not be so flabby. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, I had to learn that though.
Yeah, absolutely. I really like that analogy because it's like, yes, my motivation is my flabby arms, right? But I could just put on a long sleeve shirt and I won't see my flabby arms, right? So it's like, yes,
Hmm.
that might motivate me to do something, but it also might just motivate a thought. It
Hmm.
might motivate
Hmm.
me to do something and put on a shirt so I don't see it.
Hmm.
Right.
Hmm.
So the discipline, it just, yeah, it's that upgraded version. It's like, that's what you
Hmm.
really need.
The discipline, honestly, is the fact that it's everything in between, from my
Mm,
house to the gym.
mm,
You know what I'm saying?
yep.
That's really the discipline. And I was gonna say, really for me is it's just one goal. Just set one goal.
Yeah.
That really should be your motivation. Just set one goal and let's just see.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm so used to in my life, I'm a people pleaser.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? Just because I'm a caregiver.
mm,
You know what I'm saying? So I've decided that this one thing is for me.
yeah.
Yeah, I started with trainers. I started with groups. But then I said, number one, I had somebody told me that I couldn't do this without him. Okay. And that right there, that negative motivation
Okay.
is why I am where I am today.
She.
You know what I'm saying? Um, but it also put that in my heart to say, if nothing else, let me just see if I can do
Mhm.
this.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? That if I can't say nothing else to anybody listening, just see if you can do it.
Yeah, I love that because it's like you're not putting all the pressure on yourself to do it.
Yep.
You're like, let's experiment. Let's explore. Let's see where it can take us. And a lot of the times that is what takes you far, right? Just kind of leaning
Mhm.
into that curiosity. Absolutely.
Mhm. And now I'm like, I literally get up in the morning. I'm like, I don't want to get up every morning. I'll be honest with you,
Yeah,
but then I do. You know what I'm
absolutely.
saying? I
Absolutely.
do. If I don't go to the gym in the morning, I feel it
Yeah.
throughout the day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I literally feel it throughout the day. And to be honest with you, everybody doesn't have to. You don't have to go to the gym all the time.
Absolutely.
It's just moving your body.
Absolutely. Right.
You know what I'm saying? You don't have to. I don't have to do makeup every day, but it's creating and moving something in my mind
Mm.
to even help the next person. My daughter is doing her brows now.
Mm.
Her best friend is doing lashes now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily me having to do it every day, but it's already in me. So it's going to come out for the next person regardless because they're around me. You,
Absolutely.
you know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying?
Yeah.
I definitely would encourage people, just get up and move your body.
Yeah. Yeah. And because you never know how you're going to impact another person too. So that's a
Absolutely.
big part of it. I love that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So yes, you have given us a little bit of advice over the this conversation, but if you have any specific advice for Black women entrepreneurs, let's hear
My only advice I think I want to give and share is um to not settle into one
it.
thing. Don't get comfortable in one
Yeah.
thing. Um yes, God has given us the ability to do multiple things, multiple income. You know, there's ways to do it, but don't settle in one thing.
Yeah.
Very much so, be out there, get out there, and just be you. Be
Yeah.
the best version of you unapologetically.
Yeah.
That, I think I've always said that to
Yep.
you, my sister, and anybody else. Just be unapologetically you, the best way you know how to do it, without hurting anybody else and without hurting yourself. Do it.
Yeah.
Um, do it. You know what I mean? I don't know if that
That's
makes
it.
sense,
No,
but
that's it. Do it. Do it.
yeah,
Absolutely. I
absolutely.
love that. I love
Absolutely.
the authenticity piece, especially because that's why we're entrepreneurs, because it's in us, right? Right.
Hmm.
So make sure you're using all of you, all of your gifts, and being your full
Hmm.
self, because you never know. You never know the impact you're gonna have on other people. You never know the impact it's gonna have on you. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, so our last question is just going to be about your faith, because you brought up God a lot in this conversation, and I know you're a faith based person, right? So just talk about the role of God in your journey, your entrepreneurial journey, but also the confidence journey and also the wellness journey. Just yeah, because I know it all kind of
It
like goes together.
comes together. To be very, very honest with you, Jazz, and you know me. Um, there's nothing that we do that is just for us.
Mm,
Okay, especially in entrepreneurship. Um, so I want to say that when I was trying to do things, let's let me put it like this. When I was in college, I smoked a lot of weed back in college also. You know what I'm saying? I ain't know that, you know what I
no, we
mean?
didn't.
But I remember we drank a lot of coffee also to keep up, to get our creative juices
Mm-hmm,
going.
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't until I wasn't in school anymore and I had to do it, okay, without the added extraness,
Mm.
okay. I still believe when I smoke, I still have that creative mind and I'm good to get my juices flowing. I still believe that.
Yeah.
But I wholeheartedly believe that it wasn't until I said, okay, God, um, I can't do this
Mm.
without you. Okay. I believe what I've been taught as a child. I believe, what my parents and family have said, but it wasn't until I had to do it.
Mm.
Okay. For me to say, I can't do this makeup on this person because I'm feeling some type of way.
Mm.
I need you to really be the hands that I can't be right now.
Yeah.
And I want to say to you and anybody else that let's be real, there's nothing that we do that if it's not already in line with God, it's not going to
Mm.
last. It's not going to, you know what I'm saying? It's not going to matter. It may look good for the beginning timepiece of it all, but for me, nothing I do
Yeah.
without God has lasted. I'll be honest, and that's just me. I
Yeah.
can't put that on anybody else. Um, but His word says any and everything we do within Him will last, and it will. You know what I'm saying? Doors will be open. Your gift will make room for you, and I'm a
Mm.
believer of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a full time makeup artist anymore, but my gift that He has given me, I am a full time April and October makeup artist.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And any time in between.
Yes.
But my gift literally has made room for me.
Yeah.
My gift has put my name in rooms that I haven't even walked in yet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all God. And that's where my faith, I had to believe in myself enough to say I gotta put self down sometimes. And you know that. There's been times where I call you, call your mom, my sister, and I'm just like, I don't know about this. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then I know. Then I get it, and I'm like, all right, good look, God.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Good luck.
Absolutely.
Um, that's where it is. You know what I'm saying? I have to be real that there's nothing that I put my hands on now that I don't say, God, if this isn't for me, especially in
Yeah.
business, then softly softly take it away. Cause God will
Snatch
sometimes
that
we
shit,
gotta be
right?
like, right. Sometimes we gotta be like, all right, G,
Yeah.
calm
Yeah.
down,
Yeah. Yeah.
calm down. I hear you. Like, don't snatch it away too fast.
Absolutely.
But there's nothing that I do, especially when it comes to my makeup, my artistry, that I don't do and try to put God first because I have to be careful. I don't want anything that I do for the next person to affect them negatively as they're going forward.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because everything we do, even with you, if you don't have a mind of positivity, of, you know what I'm saying, encouragement before you get on these
Mm-hmm.
calls and your podcast,
Girl.
you know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
absolutely. I can get very I can have a very big ego, right? So I could get on these calls and hear all these things that these amazing women are doing and get jealous and get like just not like it, or feel like I'm behind, or feel like I'm like, what's wrong
Right,
with me, or all of those things. Absolutely. So yeah, it's very important for me to feed my spirit before I do any of
right,
these things, so that I can be encouraging. So because this is the community that I say I want to build, right?
right.
So let me put my money where my mouth is. Let me put my resources where my mouth is, right? Let me do this. Let me
That part,
actually do
yeah.
it, right? So yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. I love what you're saying.
that part. And before we end, I want to say I've been thinking about it all week since, first of all, thank you again. I don't know if you're ending,
So welcome.
but thank you again. I want to say thank you for this space, this safe space that you give Black women,
Absolutely.
okay, to just be who we are. You know what I'm saying? This really made me think like, oh God, who am I? You know what I'm saying? Because we get so used to just the everyday life, being a daughter, being a friend, a partner, a mother,
All the
you know what I'm saying?
things. Yes.
All of the things that make us who we are. But until you sit down just and really say, who are you? It made me think. So I want to tell you, Jazz, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for creating this safe space that, yes, this is something that is in you that, you know what I'm saying, that you have a desire for, but you're also doing that. Why? Because nothing we do is just for us. It's
Absolutely.
got to be for somebody else too. Thank you.